Love you 3,000.
And Habak 3,000 from
Love
UAE.
you 3,000.
Ti amo 3,000.
Para kami dahil 3,000.
Welcome to another edition of Coach Miranda Minor's Daily Technical Charting, Fundamentals, Improvement of Trading Quotient, and everything about crypto all in one channel.
Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce to you the one and only, the voice that introduced, pitikin kita sa ilong, isang hampas na lang ng palakol, the power of yet. Please, let's give it up to our pambansang crypto coach, Coach Miranda Minor.
Hello, Miranda. How are you?
This town's so lame. I'm feeling so white.
Alright, isang magandang gabi sa inyong lahat. Sana po kayo po ay nasa mabuting kalagayan. My name is Coach Miranda Minor and welcome to another edition of our cryptocurrency technical analysis, fundamentals, exclusive interviews, and everything about crypto, stock market, investments, all in one channel ka Miranda.
Ikaw ay nakikinig kay Coach Miranda Minor sa Daily Crypto Live.
Tawagin na lahat ng mga ka-Miranda, no? We're actually streaming live in Binance, no? In Facebook and also in YouTube. And of course, congratulations sa mga ka-Miranda. We are now 100,000 subscribers. Grabe.
It's 4 a.m. I'm not even tired. We're in your car. We can drive away. Oh yeah.
Alright guys, I have a very special guest for today. Actually, dalawa po sila, no? Alam mo ka Miranda, sinabi ko na rin ito sa inyo no, naging guest natin yung ibang mga favorite guests natin, no. Natutuwa tayo because itong mga guests natin talagang hindi na bago, no, in terms of investments. And obviously stock market, no, in terms of their opinions, their insights, no. So this time, syempre, yung naalala natin, kung naalala po ninyo, na-interview po natin si Andoy Beltran, yung Assistant Vice President for Business Development dyan sa First MetroSec. Naging partner pa nga natin sa tree planting activity ng mga kamiranda, no. So today po, itutuloy po natin yung ating tale of the two halves, no, from a lens of our experts. So we actually have invited two very astute gentlemen, no, in terms of their field, particularly in our topic for today, Kamiranda. So kung kayo ay may tanong, tatanong mamaya, tatanungin natin, no, kasi marami tayong tanong today, no, tama kasi ilang oras na lang FOMC na, no, 2:30 at mga tao mo tulad niyo, mga gising kayo kasi nasa US kayo, nasa Taiwan kayo, o kaya nasa Dubai kayo, baka abutan niyo pa yun ng 2:00. So let's ask them, no, in their opinion about yung continuation, kasi nga 'di ba ganun yung naging premise natin with the US stock market, no, whatever happens there, kumbaga whatever floats the boat, ika nga, kasi nga ang grabe ang economy ng US, no, sobrang laki. So with that said, and without further ado, let's actually start our day for today with our guests. For today, Kamiranda type number 1, kung ready na.
A quick review of our top 10 coin prices, fundamentals, and macros brought to us by the Global Miranda Minor Research Group.
Alright, we are now live. Ayun, hello JP and Royce. Welcome to our show with the Kamirandas. Kamusta? Ayan, welcome naman sa ating show JP and Royce. Kamusta kayo ngayong gabi? Mukhang Mukhang pang umaga kayo, no? Ngayon lang kayo nagpanggabing interview. Tama ba ako, Royce?
Yeah. Thank you for having us. No, so thank you. So I'm Royce Aguilar from Department of Retail Research ng First Securities. So thank you for having us. So go JP, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you again, everyone. No, so I hope you and your loved ones are all safe and healthy. And of course, thank you, Coach Miranda, for this opportunity to share our insights.
Sure. Okay. So, thank you again, So again, ang topic po natin today. So meron akong konting lag, no? Pero medyo okay na tayo. Ang ating topic for today, pag-uusapan natin, JP, is obviously yung continuation ng usapan natin namin ni Andoy before, no? So, marami tayong gustong italakay ngayon. Pero, unahin ko muna, no? Philippines, kamusta naman? Kamusta ang ating overall state of the Philippines? Siyempre, diretso na agad tayo sa discussion natin kasi kakakilala na tayo. Di ba? So, can you help us naman on a very high level lang, without going too much details, kamusta Philippines market? Up or down? Ngayon.
Yeah. Yun. So for the Philippine market, recently for the past nearly 2 weeks, it has actually rebounded. And actually, this is quite rare kasi usually when the market goes up, it's going coincide with what's happening sa global markets. Same with, for example, if the US is going up, Philippines is going up. But nung past couple of weeks, the Philippines has gone up because of company-specific reason. And it's because of better than expected earnings ng mga bangko, right? Specifically, those who have disclosed like the likes of BDO, BPI, sila pala yung nakapag-release so far in terms of banks. And they have performed better than expected, like yung loan growth, meaning yung mga napaperam nila better than what expected. Kasi for us, just to provide sa na rin, tip, usually when we look at earnings, you don't just look na, okay, nag-grow yung company.
Mm-hmm.
The value of looking, for example, other reports or other brokerage reports is, if the earnings came in better than expected.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you will know that by reading yung reports namin. Like, okay, expected pala 20%. If nag-grow 25%, then better. If nag-grow 50%,
based on expectations, correct?
yes, based on expectations, diba? So,
Correct.
so far, BDO-BP has done better than expected.
So
That
yung
was the reason.
yung banking sector, Roy, sila yung nag-lead ng growth ng PSEI.
So far sa first
So far.
quarter. And we are going to see a lot more companies release their earnings in the next 2 weeks. But so far, so good, and the market is rebounding with slightly net foreign buying. But the volume, we need more volume pa. So that's what we're looking for.
Is that because, well, for me, expected na yan, di ba, Royce? Kasi at the end of the day, sila yung beneficiary ng high interest rates, di ba?
Correct.
Di ba? And well, hindi ko alam, no? Kasi hindi naman ako granular on interest rates. Sa hula ko lang, hindi naman lahat ng bangko nagtataas ng interest rates sa deposits. Automatically goes down to bottom line. Correct? Do you agree?
Correct.
Diba? Pwede, di ba? I mean, seriously. Di ba, seriously? Magtataas ka ng 4%, 5% terminal basis rate si Fed. Hello, hindi naman nagtaas sa Bangko Sentral. Hello. Hindi naman alam ng karamihan yan, correct? So, mag-expected. So, Philippine stock market, 2 weeks. Do you see it going to sustain?
I think that's highly dependent on 2 things in general. Number one, earnings of the other companies, specifically yung mga top 30 companies. And number 2, the trend of inflation. At the end of the day, yung trend of inflation will determine magpo-pause rin ba si BSP. Same with what is expected kay Fed in the coming months. Or if inflation is higher here, baka mag-underperform tayo. Kasi meaning, yung currency will also come into play na rin. You recall natin what happened last September when the peso depreciated significantly. So, we have to see inflation calm down.
Okay.
And of course, we're seeing news na yung global supply ng rice, sugar is at risk, and that could impact inflation trends here. Kasi FYI lang, yung rice accounts for nearly 9% ng inflation basket natin. So, makyat yan ng 10%, may 1% hit yan sa inflation natin pataas, approximately.
Yeah. But for commodities overall globally bumababa na naman yung price. I see global oil price going down. Dollar strength improving versus peso. Well, they're going down for the most part. DXY is going down. But in terms of the sorry, pag-usapan na natin because we're in the topic already, no. Ito yung maraming tanong eh. Sorry JP ha.
Yeah.
Ito yung maraming tanong ng Kamiranda and Kamiranda type number 1 kung gusto mong tanungin ko to, no. One of the major questions kasi is 'di ba sabi nga nila ang takbo ng ekonomiya ng Pilipinas. Coupled kasi tayo, hindi tayo nadidecouple sa US eh, 'di ba yung takbo ng stocks natin. So potentially itong 2 o'clock may kinalaman to mamaya sa stock market ng Pinas. Yung bukas pala, 'di ba? So meron yung ilalabas ng FOMC. So do you think tapos na or another 25 basis points pa to?
Assuming, for example, the data that we're seeing now continues, meaning inflation not only going down, but either in line or lower than expected inflation, which is good. If that is sustained, like yung mga jobs data, is
jobs
not that
data,
strong.
yeah.
Diba? If yung jobs data in the US is not that strong, then moving forward, I think so Friday may jobs data. So if that is not as strong than expected, that should result in the PSI sustaining its rebound also. Kasi for example, yung US, nagre-rebound siya. I mean, yesterday it pulled back, parang staying on the sidelines ahead of some key data and key event.
Waiting for,
But
exactly.
Nevertheless, the rebound is there, right? But of course, based on what I'm reading, yung volume, at least for US market, is not quite there yet.
I think everyone is waiting eh. Waiting game sila on the sidelines for this coming release eh, no? May 3rd, May 4th. And I mean, kanina offline we're talking about the debt ceiling discussion, no, na ayusin pa nila. All right. Sige, anyways, thank you for that high level insight. We're gonna be deep diving maya-maya. JP, I know you prepared something for us, no, in terms of the lay of the land from an investment perspective. Why don't we kind of deep dive into it and kind of go down to the details?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, can you see my presentation, Coach?
Yep. Just give me a second. There you
Alright.
go. Yep, I can see it now.
All right. And I think I'm okay to proceed, right?
Go ahead. Yeah.
All right. So again, hello mga ka-Miranda, no? So good evening to all of you. I hope again you and your loved ones are all safe and healthy. As I mentioned kanina, we're very grateful to Coach Miranda for giving us this opportunity to share our insights on the Philippine financial markets. And thank you also to our participants, no, for spending your Wednesday evening with us by attending this session about our 2023 outlook and strategy, a year of two halves. Now, I understand Sir Orandoy already presented some of this already, no? So maybe a glimpse, no? But I'm going to update you on what happened up until the end of April. And of course, no, for those who were not able to attend that first session, I'll be able to run you through also to our outlook and strategy. Now, just to introduce myself, I consider myself to be one of the lucky ones in life. Kasi pagkapanganak ko pa lang, meron na agad akong Billones. Again, I am JP Billones. I used to have an above average paying job but did not save money, no? And I was even drowning in debt. However, yung ibang tao, parang wala silang problem when it comes to handling their finances. So I asked myself, ano ba yung ginagawa ng mga taong may pera na hindi ginagawa ng mga taong baon sa utang? And that question led me to become a personal finance and investment literacy advocate. Yung passion and purpose ko talaga is to help more Filipinos appreciate yung value of saving their hard-earned money and consider investing to achieve their financial goals. Currently, I'm the Business Development and Market Education Section Head for the Mindanao Desk of First Metro Securities, the stock brokerage house of the Metro Bank Group. Now, what I really love about our company is that we come to work every day to do something we love, and I consider myself lucky in that regard. Most especially sa amin, no, sa Business Development and Market Education team, we get to inspire people to upgrade their money management skills and create awareness of investment opportunities that are legitimate, affordable, and accessible. And as you can see from my professional certifications, yung circle of confidence ko lang revolves around the topics of saving, budgeting, financial goal setting, investing in stocks, pooled funds, bonds, and active trading using technical analysis. Now, yung mga sessions that we conduct are actually done on-site and face-to-face. But due to the pandemic, nag-shift kami to a webinar format. But it's quite amazing, no, how technology enables us to add value wherever you are located. So siguro for engagement natin tonight, no, I would like to know the demographics of our attendees this evening. So siguro you can just chat, no, where you are joining us from. And maybe later we can check that out, no? But likely yung mga community and followers ni Coach Miranda comes from different parts of the world, no? So wherever you are, no matter what time you are there, so hopefully thank you for joining us this evening. Now, sa amin naman, no, we acknowledge na ito yung demographic ng stock market investors in the Philippines as of 2021. No? I think we understand that most of you here are probably more exposed to the crypto na market. But just to give you an insight, no, imagine yung population natin sa Philippines nasa 100 million. Pero there are only 1.62 million stock market accounts. So that's why we say na 1 to 2% lang nag-i-invest sa stock market. It's because of these numbers. Around 80% are locally employed, but there has been gaining interest na po from students and OFWs. And I think there's also following ni Coach Miranda na mga likely mga OFWs and baka may iba din na mga student. So maybe Coach Miranda can share some insights later about this, na depende sa followers ninyo. And majority still come from Metro Manila, but the rest of the country has yet to catch up. No, now come to think about this, 1 to 2% na nag-invest sa stock market, pero where I am based dito sa Mindanao, we only represent 3.5% of that 1 to 2%. So sobrang onti talaga. No, so I hope you guys na yung mga nag-attend this evening, I hope you already have existing stock trading or some form of investment accounts already. And please do let us know, if you'd like to if you'd like to know more about yung mga services ni First Metro, we'll be able to help and assist you in that regard. Now, because of these, ito yung reason bakit kami sa Business Development and Market Education team, we conduct financial and investment literacy sessions. Now, fortunately for us, we are regularly invited by private, public, and academic institutions such as Jollibee, Department of Trade and Industry, University of the Philippines, the Philippine Stock Exchange, the Global Filipino Investors, the Filipino Times. So, syempre, after this engagement, I'll be able to add also, yung community ni Coach Miranda.
Yan.
And not only that, yung mga government agencies like the Bureau of Fire Protection, the Bureau of the Treasury, the Department of Education, and Embassy of the Philippines for various types of financial and investment literacy sessions. And not only that, noon we conduct just usual na mga webinars, like pure lecture, but hopefully in the future we can do something like this with Coach Miranda's community, or you can attend our session, yung mga gamified namin na presentations. Yung tipong hindi lang kayo listener on your end, but we can actually conduct a trivia night or financial literacy game show for you para at least, we will be able to have fun and learn at the same time. And with that introduction, that brings us back to our webinar tonight. Mabalik tayo dun sa main focus. Intro lang po yun, just to give you an idea what we do sa team namin. Again, tonight I'm going to talk about our 2023 outlook and strategy, a year of two halves. If meron po kayong questions regarding the presentation, just feel free to ask them. So maybe you can just put them dyan sa chat box ng Binance na live, or you can message Coach Miranda directly. Tapos later, we'll have a live Q&A portion, and we're very fortunate to have with us tonight, si Mr. Royce Aguilar. Tawag namin sa kanya is Mr. Trader's Playbook. So kasi siya yung one of the authors of that research report of ours. So yeah, I hope that got you excited, And just to let you know, yung points of discussion natin for tonight, we're going to talk about first, our 2023 market outlook. Second, what happened in April 2023. Third, what to watch out for May 2023. And lastly, an update on our top stock picks this year. So yeah, that will be our outline of discussion for tonight. So first, let's talk about our 2023 market outlook. No? So for the overall economy, we still see the consumers to support the economy in first half of 2023. Yung Philippine economy naman natin has actually stayed resilient through 2022. And I'll be able to share data for you that supports that hypothesis. No? Yung economy natin has actually reverted to pre-COVID levels in third quarter 2022. No? So you can see that in this chart. No? Paminsan, naririnig natin sa news that we are already back to pre-COVID levels. But how do we actually know that? So here, no, we consider 2019 to be pre-COVID. No? So this is in percentage of full year 2019 GDP. And through 2020 down to first quarter of 2021, bumaba yung GDP level natin by 89.6%. Alright? But since then, no, it has actually been recovering, no? And it seems like to support yung V-shaped recovery. And as of third quarter, no, as of third quarter of 2022, it has already went back to pre-COVID levels, no? That's already 101%. And still, no, sa fourth quarter 2022, 102.9%. So we can say that the economy has reverted to pre-COVID levels. Furthermore, yung GDP growth for 2022, if you remember, was at 7.6%. And that actually exceeded yung upper end ng government's 6.5 to 7.5% forecast for that year, no? So again, yung government natin, sabi nila, it will be between 6.5 to 7.5%. Pero yung actual na GDP growth for 2022 went above that at 7.6%. And just to share with you, no, itong graph na to, you've seen GDP natin been increasing since 2000s, but due to the pandemic, nag-dip siya and has been slowly recovering. But again, we're doing quite well kasi nga nag-exceed tayo sa government forecast. Next, no, I think you're very aware of this, that we have a high inflation environment. But despite that, we still see demand to remain resilient in the early part of 2023. Why do we say this? Is number one, no, if you've seen and followed the news, no, yung mga sahod ng mga tao have increased. And were implemented across board sa Philippines. And most regions, nag-increase sila ng 30 pesos to 60 pesos per day. Likely, if you're working right now, you felt this, no? Kasi nag-increase yung daily minimum wage. Mm-hmm. Not only that, no? Not only nag-increase yung wage, but the number of workers have actually also increased, no? So, yung full-time workers natin is already at 31.03 million. So again, as you can see here, no, ito yung level of number of full-time workers. Pero due to the pandemic, maraming na layoff, bumagsak siya. Mm-hmm. And it has been slowly recovering since then. Alright? And currently, itong 31.03 million na full-time workers, that's already 2.26 million higher versus COVID. So, mas maraming full-time workers, tapos nag-increase din yung wages nila. And that's one of the reasons na why we see demand to remain resilient sa first part of 2023.
Pero sorry to interrupt, JP, no. Pero 'di ba, I mean, many were surprised na inflation was really high January or Feb ba yun? Remember yung gulatan na yun, parang biglang akala nila mataas ng inflation ng December. So with all of these numbers put into place, do we see another 13% inflation happening in 2023 for Philippines? Posible pa ba yun? Or we could stay single digits?
Maybe 13%, maybe medyo mataas siya, no, yung 13. But I think later I'll be able to show you, no, yung parang trends ng inflation natin and what the BSP has been doing to curb that inflation.
Sige.
And actually later may papakita ko sa inyo na medyo quite interesting na crossover between core and headline inflation.
Okay,
but I think 13% medyo, I think that's quite
sobrang taas na. Kasi historically, naabot na natin yon, di ba? I mean, we were, kumbaga, in the US, sobrang mataas na yung 8%, di ba? Sa Pilipinas, double digit is normal.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm not saying that it will not happen, no. But that's also a possibility. But I hope, no, yung BSP natin will be able to be a step ahead, no, in order to curb that na hindi naman aabot to that. Kasi again, yung healthy levels of inflation natin, yung target nga ng BSP nasa 2 to 4% lang. And we're already at around yung March, nasa 7.6%. So that's almost double yung upper end ng
Yeah.
upper end ng bandang government. But we'll see, no? But hopefully maka-react yung BSP to those types na possibility. Yeah. All right. Thank you for that, Coach. No? Now, on top of that, no, when it comes to remittances din naman, both naman dollars and peso terms, no, tumaas naman nag-grow naman yung remittances by 3.6% and 14.7% respectively. So ibig sabihin lang yung remittances has been growing pa rin despite the pandemic, no, even in 2022. So we see here slight dips, no, during kasagsagan ng pandemic, but nag-continue pa rin siya thereafter. So again, the difference between the two is just because of the foreign exchange between the two. All right. Then again, that's for the first half of 2023. But again, it's a tale of two halves. Pero sa second half of 2023, we still see headwinds to become more pronounced. No? So I'm going to discuss naman ano yung mga potential headwinds natin moving forward. Just to recap, no, going into 2022, yung economy natin was in the mid-recovery phase. However, at present, yung cycle natin appears to be hotter and shorter than we had earlier expected. And currently, we see early signs of late cycle dynamics. No? What are those? You have rising inflation, tight labor market, and actually with these two can lead to higher interest rates. Now, talking about inflation, it has actually averaged 5.8% in 2022, but has been elevated pa rin, no, since then, di ba? Now, why do we say na elevated siya? Again, as I mentioned kanina, no, yung target ng BSP, this is what they want, no? And hopefully within 2 to 4% lang. But because of the pandemic, no, umakyat yung inflation natin. By the way, this red line is your headline inflation. So you see that to be rising well above the 2 to 4% target. No? So yeah, so by the way, just to give you an update, no, nag-increase yung inflation natin to as high as 8.7%. But buti na lang medyo nag-slow down na siya in the recent months, no. So 8.6% tapos 7.6% noong March 2023.
Okay.
So that's what you see here, no, yung medyo nag-curve yung inflation dito, and we see that also in this this graph sa right side. So of course, no, when inflation is already rising, yan naman yung purpose naman ng BSP natin is to actually, no, they have monetary policies, no, that they can actually try to curb inflation. So what they did was to actually increase interest rates then. So you see here the policy rates, no, so tinataasan niya rin. And siguro we've seen some light at the end of the tunnel kasi medyo bumaba yung inflation. All right? But
So
as I mentioned kanina, no,
started-
parang sorry coach, go ahead.
Sorry JP, no. So we started 2%, no? 2% on our on our interest rates na based on this graph last year.
Yes.
Tama, 2%. Interesting. So sobrang hirap na hirap talaga ang US starting from 0 interest rates to 5%, no? Parang 19x na lipad. Imagine mo 'yun in 1 year. In 1 year. 'Di ba? So at least ahead pa din tayo, no? Do you guys still follow ang tama pa rin ba na merong 100 basis points spread tayo versus states? Do we still do that today from a BSP perspective? Or hindi na?
That's the target, but at the end of the day right now kasi si BSP, they're looking at independently muna. I mean in terms of the gap, then eventually naman it will normalize. But right
Gotcha.
now kasi they want to curb inflation muna, and then eventually it will all normalize. The thing kasi with US, yung grabe talaga yung shock sa kanila in terms of inflation. They saw inflation at 7-8%, which it barely happened sa kanila na 7-8%. Kasi sa atin, that's already like, if you take a look at your inflation, 8%, mataas na siya sa atin eh.
And they
But
were
for US,
denying it kasi Royce, 'di ba? Imagine 2021 they were saying transitory, blah blah blah.
Correct.
Blah, blah, blah. Tapos
Yeah.
yun biglang
So-
bam.
So even parang parang a lot of experts, even the banking experts say na mga naging behind the curve si Fed. So
Behind the
nag-abort.
curves, yan. And di ba, siguro
So
later
nag-abort.
pag-usapan natin yung epekto sa mga bangko, di ba? Yung mga
Yeah,
hindi
yeah.
nag-hedge na mga bangko, kawawa naman. Oo.
Yeah.
Alright, go ahead, JP.
Ayan, no? So, yun, no? Following yung discussion, no? So, again, we see here, no? May ginawa din naman talaga yung BSP, no? Hindi naman din pwede, no? Na they would raise it abruptly, no? But following to what Coach and Royce was actually discussing, yung medyo rapid increase, no? Later sa next slide, I'll be able to show you yung steepness of how the BSP raised interest rates over the past few months, no? Compare natin yan later to the 2008 and you can see quite a difference there. No? But before we get to that, again, no, nakikita natin yung headline inflation to be falling, no? But yung core inflation, itong gold, parang it's still continuing to rise. And right now, no, parang updated sa kanya, parang may crossover na yung core inflation to the headline inflation. And actually, when we see this, no, yung if your core inflation is already above your headline inflation, this can be a sign na yung inflation natin could be demand-driven rather than supply-driven, no? So which actually, kung supply, easier siya to manage compared to your demand side, no? So with that, no, that adds to our thesis na parang yung inflation might remain sticky moving forward. So again, this is just an early sign. We can't really say na this is parang ano talaga, no, 100%. No? But again, this is a sign nga parang we have to look at it on the demand side na. Kasi nga, your core inflation is already higher than your headline inflation.
So tutuloy-tuloy pa din. Meron pa rin bang revenge spending ngayon? Until now? Do you guys still see that? Or, I mean, to your point, malaki ang demand, diba? And yun ang purpose ni Fed, tuloy ni BSP, demand destruction.
Yeah, actually we consider that, no, yung revenge spending, that could be part of the one of the potential upside risk of this inflation, which is actually one of your reopening dynamics. But syempre, I think to the personal level, it might not be as much as what we have done before sa revenge spending, yung tipong syempre, no, pandemic, couple of years na wala tayong gastos, marami tayong naipon, kasi stay at home lang tayo. And syempre, yung medyo nag-reopen na yung economy, we had spending power, no? And actually, hindi ko lang na-include dito sa data, we actually saw that also, no, when it comes to the savings ng Filipinos, no? There was really an increase during that time. And syempre,
that's nice.
once nag-reopen na yung economy, we have more money to spend. And I think that's one of the reasons din bakit nag-run away din yung inflation natin above the target.
That's a
Kasi nga,
good data.
people had money to spend.
Yeah, and just to add rin, I think it's not part of the side kasi siya for further data na kasi siya, but what the data is showing there is dito makikita natin inequality.
Oo, tama.
Where yes, inflation is felt, especially sa news, sa local news, when they interview people. But for example, what we show, that data will tell you na we have that graph na yung top deciles are the ones driving up consumption sa Philippines. And of course, while they may be sensitive when sa inflation, they're significantly relatively less sensitive. So, of course, right now, I'm just looking at the past 2 weeks. I just looking at my friends sa Instagram, sa Facebook. Ang daming hirap, ang taas ng inflation. But yung mga ibang friends na pinapollow ko, long weekend, bakasyon.
Oo, totoo.
Out of
Okay.
town, diba? Out of country.
So yung polarity niya, Royce, yung polarity spread natin, marami
Yes.
nag-iimpok, marami nag-aayuda.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. Talaga, that's quite interesting. Akala ko lang yung nagsisave eh. Diba? Oh, sige. Go ahead. Ang ganda ng insight. Sige, go ahead.
Yeah,
JP.
definitely, no. So ayun, no. So yun nga, to that point, parang yung for those people na who are able to spend, sila din naman yung medyo hindi masyado naapektuhan ng inflation. But on top of that, no, as I mentioned kanina sa previous slide, 'di ba, across regions nag-increase ng minimum wage, no. So mostly 30 pesos to 60 pesos per ang yung average ng mga regions, no. So again, that could be a potential headwind or upside doon sa inflation natin kasi people have more money to spend. Tapos I'm sure napansin niyo, no, nagkaroon tayo ng personal income tax cuts, no. So with that, we have napansin niyo sa what you get, no, you're technically getting more of your salary right now due to the income tax cuts. And further, yung inclement weather natin, no. So later, I will be sharing some news flows with regards to yung nabanggit ni Royce kanina sa intro when it comes to the sugar and rice na potential supply issue. Alright? So ayan, at least nabibitin kayo from slide to slide, no? So you'll have a preview of what we will be discussing. Now, even though, no, di ba, sabi ko kanina, there are more full-time workers now versus pre-COVID, 2.26 million more versus pre-COVID. But again, we are still concerned that labor productivity is less than ideal, which may actually affect yung total economic activity generated. So may impact yan siya to our GDP. So as you can see here sa graph, unemployment rate, again, nag-increase niyan siya rapidly during the pandemic, but it has been slowly declining, no? And we are already in this level. Yung unemployment rate natin is 4.8%, which is still good kasi yung healthy na unemployment rate is between 2 to 5%. So we're well within that range. But despite this decline, no, sa unemployment rate, we see here decline in productivity. So this is a graph about the labor productivity and there's a decline. So again, okay siya that you have more full-time workers tapos with your unemployment rate going down, pero dapat 'di ba yung productivity mo should be in correlation with that. But in this regard medyo may may divergence siya kumbaga, no, kasi increasing yung number of full-time workers mo pero declining yung productivity. Alright, so that could be a potential headwind also moving forward if we see the same trend moving forward. Now next, ito yung slide na sabi ko sa inyo that you'll be able to see how steep yung BSP raised their rates, no, because to recover the economy post-pandemic, no. So with inflation still way above the government's 2 to 4% target, you've seen that in the previous graph, we also see possibility that it will remain sticky, no, yung inflation. So with this, there's still room for more policy hikes from the BSP. Tapos, moreover, yung Fed is not yet done raising interest rate. Again, yung expectation right now is one more rate hike before a possible pause, no, depende sa reaction ng inflation. So yung sinasabi ninyo kanina na about 100 basis points na differential with the US, again, that's a factor of because we have to stay in step, no, as we need to keep a certain differential with the US kasi nga nasa sovereign risk yan. We can't have a scenario na mas mataas yung interest rates ng US compared to the Philippines kasi nga in terms of sovereign risk, mas risky yung Philippines compared to the US. Alright, so just to give you more color dito sa graph, no, so BSP has actually raised policy rates by 425 basis points already in this short amount of time, no, so medyo steep siya. Now, for context dito sa 2008, no, which was also a financial crisis na dinaanan natin, steep din siya but it's not yung difference niya hindi masyado as pronounced as the recent one. And as you can see, no, usually after a series of increases, yung next talaga na nangyayari is a pause before a cut ng mga rates. Okay, so that's actually part of our story of two halves that I'll be explaining in a couple of slides. So
well,
usually
ano yung nasa x-axis? Anong period ba yan? Yung 0203, what is that?
This is year.
Year, gotcha.
Yeah. So this is 2023, 2022, 2021.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
So this is 2008 yung global financial crisis. So you see the intensity, no, the difference between the two. And likely yung next scenario dito is a pause, which is yan yung ina-anticipate ng marami, no. Syempre, no, mas gusto natin na mag-pause muna yung interest rate, but the BSP can't do that if we still have a high inflation environment. Yeah. So again, with all those headwinds in mind, we present to you our end 2023 PSE index target as follows. No, so when growth worries comes to fore, so when you say that, Ibig sabihin yun, yung impact ng high interest rates on the economy and earnings, mafe-feel natin in the next 12 months. Tapos if inflation falls between 5 to 6%, tapos yung Fed and BSP policy rates will be at 5% and 6% respectively. Tapos yung 10-year bond yields mag-ease siya to 6.5 to 6%. Then we still see yung may policy tightening dito, but amidst that, if the demand cools off despite income tax cuts, yung wage increases, this might result to a lackluster na corporate sales. Now, in turn, yung elevated fixed cost and cost of funds may create a negative operating or financial leverage on corporate margins. So that's a scenario that we're looking at, no, as a base case. So our base case is 6,700, and given those mga assumptions. But that's just the base case. However, if the late cycle will be extended both for the US and Philippines, ang bear case namin is 5,900 for the index target. So how do we say that the late cycle is extended? Again, if your inflation continues to be hot, tapos may further upside risk to the policy rates, and syempre, no, yung inflation natin will be sustained above 6%. Ang dami, no, even yung Fed policy rates will go beyond 5%. Yung BSP policy rates may go above 6%. And yung 10-year bond yields might be higher than 6.5%. So again, those are some scenarios that we can see yung late cycle extension. And when that happens, no, that increases the risk of deeper economic and earnings contraction sa next 12 to 24 months. And syempre, when that happens, no, we might see also the peso to weaken. And syempre, when peso weakens, the foreign funds might reduce exposure on Philippine equities. All right, so that's our bear case, yung 5,900. But again, that's just the bear case, no? On the flip side naman, doon naman tayo sa bull case, no? So, yung bull case is we will see a soft landing scenario. So, ano yung mga assumptions that we can see na we might have that scenario is, again, you have your we can see less na structural damage from the policy tightening, no? And if inflation falls near the BSP's target range of 2 to 4%, that's actually a good indication. Tapos yung Fed and BSP policy rates will be below 5 and 6% respectively. Tapos yung 10-year bond yields will be less than 6%. No? So peso might also strengthen below the 55 pesos per US dollar level, and we might see foreign funds flow to come back sa Philippines. Now, again, if all of those things mag-align sila to that, we might see a soft landing scenario, and our bull case for the PSE index is 7,400. So those are our three parang scenarios that we see sa index, no? So base case is 6,700, bull case is 7,400, and bear case is 5,900.
I have a curious question because I'm back testing the bear cases. This is PSEI, correct? Yung 5967. That's not based on technical analysis, no?
No, this is
No.
Based on fundamentals.
Gotcha.
Royce, would you give some color?
I'm just
again
curious
for,
lang on the maybe it's
Yeah,
proprietary, but I just wanted to know.
That's
Yeah.
purely fundamentals lang siya. That's purely fundamentals. And we have we have several criteria,
Points,
and we
okay.
did this regression pa sa Excel. So it's purely fundamentals.
Gotcha. So have you guys ever considered a no landing scenario? I mean, we pause now and then we create another issue on inflation and we trigger again interest rates to go higher. Have you guys
I think
ever considered
that
that?
will classify under the late cycle.
So you're going on the bear case na yon. Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Because it's possible, right? I mean, come to think, if we pause on June and we never see, because I mean, have you just for a discussion, in Miranda, please listen to this question, no? Kasi I've always been thinking, for the past couple of months, well, even last year, commodities were in price are actually going down. Pero yung employment numbers ayaw magpatalo sa states. Could there be a new normal? Could there be a new normal in terms of inflation? Or are we trying to become really idealistic to always hit at 2%? 'Di ba? Kasi ang ganda, I mean, you're trying to manage price, demand is weakening, but your labor numbers, well, most recently lang na medyo humihina na. Pero I even remember February humahataw pa si ano eh, si
Yeah.
PCE, 'di ba? Have you guys ever considered a new normal from an inflation standpoint, or
Not necessarily. Although, what we're seeing kasi right now, in terms of the usual inflation that we're hearing sa news, like at least sa Philippines, yung sibuyas, what we're hearing are products. But when we interview businessmen, in terms of their issue, as businessmen, is actually wage inflation. And that's what we have been hearing consistently, even from listed companies themselves. Na they're really trying to, of course, for lack of a better word, streamline the operations by
Yeah.
automating a lot of their
Yeah.
operations because of wage inflation. That's what makes it a bit sticky. Yung inflation. So
Got it. Okay, so net bull case 7.4, base case 6.7. So base case 6.7, we're currently at what now? 66?
6606.
66 tayo, yeah. So almost within the range, no? So
Yeah.
quite interesting. Do you see seasonalities? Do you guys believe sell in May and go away?
for us kasi we don't
Di ba may ganong kasabihan, Royce?
yeah, that's true. I mean, meron ganun. Tapos meron pang ghost month, etc. Kasi
Yeah.
yung mga Chinese. But for us kasi we try to, since while we combine both fundamentals and technicals, usually pag mga index target, solely fundamental yan. So when we talk about this stuff, we try to look at it on at least on 12-month point of view, which of course di na namin masyadong isip yung mga sell-in may go away at the
Yeah,
end of the day.
yung mga seasonalities.
So,
Gotcha. Okay.
yeah.
Understood. Okay. All right. Don't let me interrupt you, JP. I know you have 2,000 more slides, so let's just go into it.
No, it's okay, Coach. No, actually, I'm very happy with the kasi yung conversations natin in between are actually parang transition conversation to the upcoming na mga slides, no. Like for example, a while ago you were talking about we're currently at 6,606, no, and yung base case namin is 6,700. So that tells us na yung base case target namin for end 2023, we only have a limited upside from where we are currently trading.
Yeah, exactly.
And the path to that will actually be volatile, and we have experienced that already in the past few months. Now, in the next 12 months, as nakita nyo sa title, no, we see a year of two halves, no, and that may bring us trading opportunities to the table. Now, for the first half of 2023, we are tactically risk on, no, considering yung Fed pivot or pause can be an interim positive, kasi nga that will bring about valuation expansion and market rallies. Now, that's the first half. For the second half naman of 2023, we prefer to have a light positioning. Again, in view of the lagged impact of policy tightening. Again, di ba, policy tightening, ini-increase ng BSP yung interest rates to curb inflation, but that monetary policy tightening has actually an impact sa economy and earnings. Now, that's why yung Fed or BSP pause can be a signal to the end of the late economic cycle. And if remember niyo yung cycle kanina, after the late economic cycle, that can be the beginning of a downturn, so which can be a slowdown or recession. And I think we have also heard similar views from other houses as well. So again, that's the story of two halves that we actually see for 2023. And currently, where are we right now? So with this, that leads me into the next part. What happened in April 2023? So again, just a very quick overview. So in April 2023, PSEI ended higher by 1.9%. So nasa 6625. So year to date, that brings PSEI to be up by 0.9%. These are the things that made the market rally. Nabanggit na rin to ni Royce during the intro. It's because of the better than expected earnings by some corporate releases from BDO, BPI, and Meralco. Tapos, we also saw lower than expected US inflation and producer price index. So that's what made the market rally. And what made the market pull back naman is, of course, the peso depreciation. Now, looking at the charts ng PSEI, no, we see support sa 6.4 and 6.6. No? So right now, nasa 6.6 level tayo. If that would be broken down, no, then the next support would be 6.4. Tapos yung resistance naman, no, if it continues to rally, the next resistance is at 6,800. So with that, no, yung trading plan here is to gradually accumulate once the PSEI trades back above 6,800. Now, next, no, we're already done what happened on April 2020. Sorry, what happened in April 2023. Now, what to watch out naman for, this should be May 2023. Now, what to watch out for May 2023? So, as mentioned ni Royce kanina sa intro, we still see no supply issues in the future. No, actually, dalawa dito, you have rice and sugar. So dito we have a news flow. There's going to be a global rice shortage, which will be the biggest in 20 years. No, so that is actually according to Fitch Solutions. No, so again, this is very critical kasi nga dito sa Asia Pacific, we actually consumes 90% of the world's rice.
That's right.
Now, how does this tie into our inflation? As mentioned ni Royce kanina, rice accounts for 8.87% of the inflation. So, syempre, that's quite big na, no? 8.87%. So, if there's going to be a shortage in rice, that may cause inflation pressures to our numbers. Yeah. Then, after rice, we also see for sugar naman, no? So they see sugarcane production may drop 10 to 15% because of the El Nino dry spell expected this year. So again, may impacto siya sa ating inflation numbers because yung sugar, confectionery, and desserts account for 1.05% ng inflation basket natin, which is not as much as your rice, but still, no, to be considered kasi part nga siya ng calculation sa inflation numbers natin. So again, those are the things that we should watch out for sa supply side naman issues. Alright? So after that, these are the things that we should also watch out for. Again, yung inflation data, ito yung closely watched right now kasi nga we're looking if inflation would continue to slow down. We already saw that, no, from above 8% down to 7.6%. But the question is, will it continue to slow down to cause it to go closer pa dun sa 2 to 4% target ng BSP? Then of course, no, we should also look out for the language of central banks across the world when it comes to monetary policy. Kasi nga, yung monetary policy that may trigger a possibility ng economic slowdown or recession. Kasi even though it might curb inflation, pero again, may impact siya to the economy and corporate earnings.
Yeah. I'm smiling a little bit kasi if you guys remember, kailan ba to? Was it February or January? Powell was already using word disinflation. Have you guys remember that time? Puro sila disinflation. Then all of a sudden, humataw na naman yung employment numbers. Yeah. And then change of direction na naman. Diba? So I mean, everything that they say parang presidente ng talo pa nila yung presidente, no? Just how very powerful Powell is or the Bangko Sentral, no? Quite interesting. So we'll see. Mamaya we'll see. Or in the minutes of the meeting, we'll see.
Yeah. And yeah, that's actually one of the things that we are looking out for. Kasi napansin nyo dito, it's the language of the central bank. Kasi the language of the central banks will actually let us know, no, where the rates will be heading. No? And that could actually help us position ourselves on sa respective portfolios natin. And after that, we also experiencing, no, yung mga banking crisis, no. As mentioned ni Royce kanina, no, if you see one cockroach, for sure hindi lang yan yung mag-isang cockroach. So sino pa ba yung mga cockroach that will be showing sa light, 'di ba? So the good thing lang is dito sa Philippines, medyo yung mga banks natin wala masyadong exposure to those medyo high risk na mga exposures that what happened in the overseas market, no. So sabi naman na BSP, medyo isolated tayo from that, no. So but again, is there something that will come next, no, na baka hindi pa natin nakikita for now but might have an impact. On top of that, no,
sorry to interrupt. So can we kind of pause a little bit about that, right? So ito yung sinasabi ko kanina about the long-term potential impact. Kasi in my own opinion, this is just me talking, no. tingin ko hindi pa to tapos itong bank narrative issue, at least in the States, no? Buti nga medyo hindi tayo apektado sa Philippines, no? What's your opinion? Kasi maraming ngayon, may First Republic, binili ng mas malaking bangko. Di ba? Signature Bank, Silicon Valley, no? And how many more banks out there did not hedge their positions, keep on buying 2020 on treasury bills, and right now suffering on valuation. Maraming ganon, di ba? Let's accept that. What's your opinion about that, Royce or JP?
Yeah, I mean, if you ask me, I think I am of the same view. We're of the same view actually na there could be like a bigger effect on this one na hindi pa lumalabas. Like, gulat na lang tayo. Si Credit Suisse has been, for example, sa European Credit Suisse.
Sa Credit Suisse,
that they have issues for so long.
Yeah.
Ngayon nag-crack, nag-trigger. And there are a lot of institutions out there that have been struggling also na nagre-recover, but just one specific economic scenario they could crack. And for us kasi, while the banking crisis may seem like nagdi-dissipate, for us kasi we're looking beyond banking. We can't pinpoint which sector yet, but the thing here is meron pa dyan na likely affected, not only by the high interest rates, but because of the recent global developments. And for us kasi yung JP will mention later, in geopolitics, we never remove that sa what to watch out for, because in geopolitics is actually one, dyan nanggagaling usually mga black swan.
Yeah.
In black swan of 2022, si Ukraine, Russia. And it's still ongoing. So we're still feeling the pain. Partially nga yung reason kaya yung may global rice supply issues because of the Ukraine thing. So, yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Sige. Thank you so much. Yeah.
So, so we dapat talaga tayo, which later matatay into doon sa recommendation on how we should position, no? Kasi again, ang daming risk that we are watching out for, no? So what will be our position? Anong magandang strategy when it comes to managing our portfolio? So I'll be discussing that in the following slides. Now, before we get to that, we should also watch out for the first quarter 2023 corporate earnings from the PH and US. Kasi again, earnings season right now, and we should still see and watch out for yung mga results ng mga corporates. Kasi again, we have restrictive the monetary policy, so we should be worried kung anong impact nito dun sa mga respective businesses. And after that, also the geopolitics, which we cannot really take out as a potential risk moving forward. And syempre, economic data, this is what we are watching. Like for this week, we are looking for inflation. This should be May 4. Then first quarter 2023 GDP, that will be on May 11. Then central bank interest rate decision, both for the PH and the US, will be on May 18. And jobs report on May 5. Then US inflation, May 10. So on and so forth. So we should watch out on all of this, especially sa inyo. I think you're closely following these data.
Yeah.
And of course, manufacturing numbers, PMI, sobrang ganda nito kasi you would know if expansionary or contracting naman yung manufacturing sector. And we should watch out for this economic data. So those are the things that we should watch out for. Now, moving forward, ano ba yung mga stock picks namin sa First MetroSec? So
Ito
again,
teka lang JP, puputulin ko lang, magko-quick commercial break. Hala nyo kung wala kaming commercial May commercial break kami dito. We'll be right back in one commercial, Miranda. We will be right back on one quick commercial break. Okay? Alright, ayun, nag-quick commercial lang kami, Miranda.
Ikaw ay nakikinig kay Coach Miranda Miner sa Daily Crypto Live.
Ayun, maraming salamat Miranda. Okay, let's now do this. Thank you again. Let's go back to your awesome stock picks, Miranda, coming from the First MetroSec group. Palakpakan naman natin, grabe. Okay, all right. So let's go with your stock picks. Go ahead, JP.
Alright, thank you for that, Coach. No? So again, without yung mga robust inflows to drive rallies, we are actually in the view that yung outperformance in the next 12 months will come from a combination of selective stock picking and active or nimble portfolio management. So ito yung sinasabi ko sa inyo na considering all the risks that we are seeing, dapat yung strategy natin, selective tayo sa stocks na pinipili natin, tapos we manage our portfolio na a little bit more active siya kasi ang daming moving parts that we should be nimble enough to be able to react to different na mga news flows and different developments sa economy natin. So again, yung bottom line dito is that we are heading towards an environment of restrictive monetary policy and decelerating na economic and earnings growth. So again, not only selective and active management, this also argues na we should also lighten positions in portfolios and let's have a bias for defensive names. So yung key themes namin for this year is number 1, defense is the best offense.
Okay.
Number 2, beneficiaries of central bank pivot. Tapos number 3 are unloved or undervalued names. So let's explore yung mga key themes namin. No? So first theme is defense is the best offense. So di ba we are expecting a cyclical downturn. So in that regard, we prefer companies with defensive revenue streams and or secular na mga demand drivers. Again, we see those stocks in staple na categories kasi itong mga staple na categories, they serve essential goods and services. And we like the names such as Century Pacific Food Inc. or that's CNPF. Target price is 29. Robinsons Retail Holdings, RRHI, target price is 70. Then Universal Robina Corp, URC, target price 150.
Then, ang aggressive ng RRHI nyo, 70? Wow! Aggressive. Yeah. Alright. Okay, interesting. Alright, go ahead.
Yeah. Then after that, we move on to theme number 2. So for theme number 2, beneficiaries of central bank pivot. No? So yung risk of a downward price action has actually increased in the near term. Again, because of the high interest rate cycle. So again, no, yung nangyari kasi dito sa REIT sector is high inflation, restrictive monetary policy, umangat yung interest rates. So ibig sabihin yung bond yields also are increasing. Okay? Yung bond interest rates paid out by bonds are actually also increasing. So umabot sa time na yung bond yields mo medyo at par na siya sa dividend yields that your REITs are actually providing. So because of that, merong sell-off na nangyari, medyo bumaba yung presyo ng mga REITs kasi they transferred to more fixed income na securities which are your bonds. No? Kasi again, why would you go for equity and you can get that rate na fixed dito sa bonds, di ba? So there was a shift. Now, with both the Fed and BSP's fight against inflation might still be far from over, we might see this cycle na to be extended, no? So again, siguro as of this moment, since we are anticipating a pause in the near term, you can consider to add positions already, but maybe from your budget, maybe start off muna with 10 to 20% if you like the thesis about the REITs, no? So again, we prefer to wait for better entry points. Ano yung mga better entry points? We can see that when the Fed or BSP are close to a pause already, which baka we are anticipating that right now. And when that happens, no, we can potentially lock in better yields kasi nga we are able to buy it at a lower price. And syempre naman, no, wala naman masyadong nagbago sa mga assets that were infused to these companies. We can actually position ourselves to benefit from capital appreciation as interest rates peak and yung economic growth risk comes to fore. Kasi syempre, pag medyo bumaba na ulit yung interest rates, baka investors from fixed income might shift to similar, no? Kasi medyo similar si bonds and si REITs. They might come back to REITs kasi nga may potential siya to appreciate in price. So that's why we like the counters like C-REIT, target price 2.54, M-REIT, target price 15.3, RCR, target price 6 pesos. Then lastly, we have team number 3, yung mga unloved or undervalued names. Again, mas prefer namin yung mga undervalued names kasi yung mga current valuations na that gives us sufficient downside protection. No? So parang we are able to buy it with a good margin of safety. And in the event lang na may multiple derating pa because of your potential outflows. So we like the counters like RLC, target price of 25, Security Bank, SecB, target price 109. With that, I was actually, I prepared slides sana for mga, these are fundamental na target prices. I prepared slides sana on the technical perspective, but we're running out of time, so we can just focus on the fundamental side first. But with that, let me just close my presentation. That should you decide to invest in the future, just to show you, ito yung performance ng mga top picks namin so far. So again, parang there's lots of numbers here, but we see here outperformance ng portfolio return either market cap weighted or equal weight sila. Kung market cap weighted, 3.9% ang return. Equal weight, 2.8%. Even though medyo maliit siya tingnan, but that's still an outperformance compared to your PSEI. So
This is
again,
on, what is the duration of the what's your time here? The duration of the This is
year to
for
date.
Year to date. Gotcha. Okay.
So start of the year tapos end of April.
Okay.
Yeah. There you go. So
Alright.
again, for those who'd like to invest, we would like to let you know that with First MetroSec, you only need one account for all your investment needs. So you can gain access to your portfolio using your desktop, laptop, tablets, and even your mobile phones. And the good thing about First MetroSec is you only need one account. Kasi you can trade PSE stocks, real estate investment trust, exchange traded funds, mutual funds, unit investment trust funds, and even bonds. And we're doing pretty well. We have actually received multiple awards and global recognitions from Finance Asia, International Finance, Global Economics, Global Brands Magazine, and Asia Money Brokers Poll. And through the years, we were awarded to be Philippines' best online broker, best stock brokerage house, best and most innovative online trading platform, among others. If you'd like to open an account, you can just visit our website for you to be able to open an account or download our First MetroSec Go mobile app in the Google Play or Apple App Store. Very easy, 10 to 15 minutes lang. If you'd like to learn more, our main website is www.firstmetrosec.com.ph. In social media channels, just search for the handle at First MetroSec. Now, I hope you learned a lot from this webinar. So again, feel free to invite us if you want us to conduct sessions for you for free. We can do this for your company, school, organization, or clients. Just send us an email, either through Coach Miranda or directly to us, marketeducation@firstmetrosec.com.ph. And with that, thank you everyone. It's now time for our live Q&A.
Yay! Good job, baby. Parang ang pogi ni Aaron Say doon
Oo nga sir eh.
Parang pupogi nyo siya di ba? Alright, in regards to your team na napakagaling. Alright, sige, Miranda, let's now go with your question and answer. Sige, let's now do our question and answer here real quick. Just give me a second. Okay, balik tayo sa ating question and answer. Sige, meron ditong question from Kim Jason Soriano. What will be the Philippines market reaction if the US government declares recession? How will it affect the Philippine stocks? And how do you think this recession will last before? I think maganda yung question, how often or how long often a recession lasts from a cycle perspective?
Okay, so good. That's a good question. Usually kasi, let's define recession first. Yung recession is defined by two straight quarters of negative growth. So for example, it's US right now, yung first quarter GDP nila is 1.1%. That's still positive. It has to be 2 quarters of negative to be defined as recession. So you don't necessarily declare a recession. It's defined as 2 straight quarters of negative growth. And of course, in terms of the effects of Philippines, usually, since the stock market is forward-looking, once we sense that pa-recession na kunyari, nag 1 quarter of negative growth, tapos we see yung mga, there are lots of data that the US released, yung mga manufacturing, PMI, other economic retail sales, and we get the sense na if magkakaroon ng 2 straight quarters of negative growth. So, from there, mapaprice na siya ng stock market. And when that actual recession already comes in, hindi na bababa yung market because it's already been priced in. It's the same with COVID. In the COVID, the bottom was the peak of the fear. Yun yung March 2020 lang.
2020. Oo. Yeah,
But
yeah.
that was not, wala pang recession at that time. We didn't, di ba? So, the Philippines kasi, it depends. Kasi for us, yung recession natin, di naman tayo nag-recession noong 2008. Di ba? Nung 2020 lang tayo nagka-recession because, of course, global pandemic siya. So, it depends. Actually, in our forecast, if our expectation is US, UK, possible magka-recession, but the Philippines, economic slowdown lang siya.
Naalala ko yun, no? Grabe. I mean, March 2020, parang 3 circuit breaker stop ng PSEI.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Diba?
grabe.
Grabe, no? I was like, yung Jollibee from 270, 210, 150, tapos 90. Grabe. It's crazy. Go ahead, JP.
Yeah, and if I may add, no, actually, please correct me if I'm wrong, no? Kasi Royce, di ba, yung GDP mo is actually a lagging indicator.
Correct.
It's a lagging indicator. Kasi again, for you to declare recession, dapat 2 GDP quarters yun na decline siya or negative growth, di ba? So, it has to go, when you say 2 quarters, that's 6 months already. So, imagine the lag of that. No? So, yeah.
Yeah.
Just to give you insight. Thanks.
Well, in my own opinion, well, I agree it should be 2 quarters, but I don't think Janet Yellen agrees to it. Remember 2022, they did not agree quarter 1, quarter 2 negative ang US ng GDP, but they did not say it's babaguhin nila yung definition ng recession, 'di ba? Sabi ni Van, Coach, patanong po, Philippines projected GDP 6% growth for 2023. How will that affect the Philippines inflation?
For us kasi, yeah, okay, it's a good question. I mean, in terms of our projection, as of now, it could change after ma-release next week yung GDP growth. But so far, our forecast is 5.8% in terms of full year GDP. So how will that affect inflation? Kasi for GDP kasi, there are a lot of segments to it. Diba? Merong government expenditure, may household consumption. What we want to see is yung household consumption growing but not at a hot pace. Dapat stable lang, not too high. Because if it's too high, that will push the central bank to increase rates further. Kasi sadly, that's the goal eh. Yung purpose is to curb inflation. But if you want to be specific about it, the purpose is to lessen our demand. Yun eh. Gusto natin, hindi tayo gumastos. Right? Because it's one thing to address yung supply. Because to address supply, di naman si BSP yun eh. Diba? It's the government altogether. But to address demand, tataas ang interest rates, that's the goal of the central bank, is to curb inflation via lessening how we spend, how we Filipinos here in the Philippines spend. So, to answer your question, we have to dig in deeper. Na okay, not just GDP, we have to lessen yung household consumption.
And even on fiscal policies, right? I mean, reduce your OPEX, no, from a government perspective, 'di ba? Reduce your infrastructure spending, etc., etc. So, all of that put into place. All right, sabi ni Ryan, does the bank narrative happening in the other country affect the state of the Philippines bank? I think there was, no, but a little bit lang, 'di ba, Royce? or JP?
If
Mabilis
I may-
lang, but may long, I don't see any impact. Do you guys see any impact to the local banks pa on what's happening in the States?
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, during the height of that, syempre, people would have that intuition na baka maka-apekto siya sa banks, and there was a little bit of sell-off there. But when BSP said that yung mga banks natin are actually quite isolated to that specific na issue there, ano naman, medyo na-ease naman yung mga investors when it comes to that. Yeah.
Got
But
it.
Royce, maybe you'd like to add more insights on that.
Yeah, just to mimic in terms of exposure naman. Not a big of exposure kasi if we want to talk about the banking crisis, for example, si Silicon Valley Bank, we have to dig in ano ba yung laman ng loans nila. It's actually more on the tech startups, na which of course high risk of default kasi nga
They're
Parang-
startups eh.
yes, diba? So for the bigger banks naman here, they're really conservative. But I have to remind you na not all banks here are conservative. Right? Meron yan, yung mga top banks remain to be top banks because of how diversified and conservative they are. But nevertheless, there's no one bank naman here that focus startups lang. So
Right. Okay, so let's now move on. Just two more questions. Let's now refresh our questions kasi gabi na rin, no? Meron pang interview yata sa ANC itong si Royce tomorrow. Diba? Meron ba kay Mimi? Wala naman.
wala pa na.
Wala pa sinasabi. Diba niya, interviewin ka niya bukas kasi si Powell nagtaas ng 25 bips eh.
Oh.
Interviewin ka niya. Diba? Or, ang question natin is, let's now go to the US, no? US market. So, in your own opinion, based on what's going to happen, meron kayong case, di ba? You have your bear, bull, and obviously, no, your base case. So, in your own opinion, tingin natin ba na ito ay kasi di ba, if they raise interest rates, they're on the brink of so many issues to happen. Di ba? Do we honestly believe, no? Or do we honestly believe it's gonna be pausing by June? I think I've asked you offline, but I would like to kind of ask you again. Do we think we're gonna be pausing on June?
I mean, if inflation continues to go, two things, if inflation continues to go down, plus if inflation continues to go below what is expected, that's two things that has to happen.
Mm-hmm.
That's one. And of course, other data has to coincide eh. But again, inflation yung main gauge dyan. But for example, it's also important na sa Friday, yung jobs data don't come really strong. But so far, the private payrolls earlier was actually quite strong. Yung private payrolls that came out earlier. So hopefully by Friday, the other data is not that strong. Yung unemployment rate trend, of course, yung wages is also those are factors. But nevertheless, inflation overall has to come down and become below expected. So assuming that happens, a pause in June is quite possible.
A pause, no? Or a potential I honestly I think from 0 to 525, I mean 5.20, sobrang laki na nun. I mean personally, no, in terms of at least on my experience. One last question is, no, sobrang ganda kasi ng topic natin eh. Ang tanong ko talaga is, JP or Royce, meron ba kayong Bitcoin? Miranda, yun ang tanong natin sa mga guests ko dito, di ba? Mapa-stock market ka. Kayo po ba ay may Bitcoin? At kung wala, kayo po ay interested magka-Bitcoin? Yes or no? Yan. Tanongin ko muna si Kuya JP, sorry, Kuya Joyce. O, Kuya JP, ikaw muna.
For that, no, personally, wala pa akong exposure sa Bitcoin, no. I'm in the process na parang inaaralan ko pa siya, no. So I wish na nakilala ko si Coach Miranda earlier para I would have learned more about the cryptocurrency. But personally, I acknowledge the technology ng cryptocurrency. But yun, siguro when it comes to how do you say this, yung willingness ko to take on risk, baka yung crypto might be a little bit outside of my comfort zone pa, but always willing to learn, no? So looking forward to that kasi ako personally I really see the advantage of the cryptocurrency na technology. No? So, or yung blockchain na technology. So,
Correct.
yeah, exciting times ahead. Hopefully, hindi na ako that behind sa curve. But when I get comfortable, yeah, we'll be there.
All right.
Sorry.
Thank you. Ikaw naman, Royce, what do you think? Or what's your answer to that?
Actually, ako, I have exposure. I have exposure, and I actually use Binance. So that's the platform I use. And in terms of which specific ones, I actually more on sa ano ko is Ethereum and mga other coins on it. But not a lot of coins. Ako mostly focus sa Ethereum lang. And of course, I use crypto rin as a way to improve my trading. So parang I make use of the futures to practice. Practice risk management, to practice trading. Kasi for example, if sa Philippines kasi, for example, if you have 50,000 lang yun. Sometimes you want to
Use
really,
leverage.
take advantage of the price action beyond the 3 p.m. Diba? Gusto ko paggabi, nagtitrade pa rin to really improve my performance. And of course, I want exposure in for the long term. So ako mostly sa Ethereum kasi I'm seeing a lot of use cases, diba? That's what you call it.
Right.
Past years. So yeah, I like what JP said. I try to keep an open mind. I understand that a lot of equities experts are not so keen sa cryptocurrency, but we try to keep an open mind because at the end of the day, we don't want to not necessarily miss out. But ako personally, kasi I've been sa US yung past 2 years and I see the applications there. So yeah, so I talk to a lot of people and they see the pros and the cons. And eventually, diba, before nga, si Microsoft, just one of the many internet applications out there. Pero it's one of the men amongst boys. So we're hoping na moving forward, the likes of Bitcoin, Ethereum will be the men amongst boys. So let's see. The future is exciting, definitely. And I want to learn and participate along the way. That's the thing.
That's good to hear. Well, on that note, I know it's quite late of the night already. It's quite refreshing to hear that you guys are obviously on the technology side si JP and of course si Royce. That's also where I started Royce. I used to be a full-time stock market trader. I moved to crypto. Obviously to leverage no holidays, 24/7. Diba? Price action is heavy, you have volume, you have good liquidity. No? Minsan wala ka na mapili sa PSCI Di ba? Ilan lang ang may volume dyan So, at least meron tayong pupuntahan. On that note, thank you so much, gentlemen. I appreciate First Metro Securities. Thank you for your opinion, wisdom. And sa mauulit po, maraming salamat and have a good rest of your night. Before kayo umalis, can I ask you guys to say, "We love you 3,000 ka Miranda." Yun ang konting mga tagline namin dito. Pwede ba yon?
Sige.
Yeah. All right, JP, you wanna say that? "We love you 3,000 ka Miranda." Ay, nakamute ka yata, sir.
Sorry. We love you 3,000 ka Miranda.
Woohoo! All right, Royce.
Okay, so we love you 3,000 ka Miranda. Thank you.
Woohoo! All right. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. Good night. Good night. Bye-bye. All right, guys. Nako. Parang sa'yo napuputol. Sana nakuha yung recording kasi hindi nakuha before Nako. Salamat guys. Thank you. Diba? All right. Nako. So before we end our show for today, guys, I'm gonna be doing a little bit of charting, I'm gonna be doing a little bit of charting here. And pag-usapan po natin ang ating technical charting. Mag-overtime si Coach. Pag-usapan natin technical analysis and fundamentals in 2 minutes. Balik kayo dito. Quick break lang si Coach ng water break. I'll be right back. Pagbalik ko, review tayo ng coin prices and technical analysis tayo I'll be right back, guys. Maraming salamat.
review of our top 10 coin prices, fundamentals, and macros brought to us by the Global Miranda Miner Research Group. This program is brought to us by BingX, the world's fastest growing crypto app where you can find your next multi-bagger coin. Download now using Coach Miranda Miner's referral link found in your chat room and in the screen.
All right, let's now do this, Miranda. Okay, so Bitcoin currently at 28,249. Ethereum 1852, halos walang paggalaw, no? BNB 322, $322.45. XRP at 0.45, Cardano at 0.38. Dogecoin at 0.077, Polygon Matic at 0.98, Solana at 2140, Polkadot at 560, Litecoin 86, SHIB Inu at 9853, AVAX 1653, Chainlink at 687. Puntahan natin yung marami nagtatanong po ngayon, no, yung mga lumilipad na coin. Let's go first with SUI. Okay, let's actually try to open SUI as a coin, Miranda. Obviously, give me a second. Just make sure I'm looking at the right coins for today. What is the current price of this coin? Okay. All right. Sige, tama. Okay, so this guy has only been launched, today. So bagsak po, no, as usual. It's currently within the same 1.27 price point. Nilabas po yan. Ito po yung kanyang chart as of today, no? So take note, Miranda, yung kanyang chart. So people are obviously selling and buying, etc., etc., etc. Alright, so obviously medyo mahirap pang i-TA yan. We're gonna be waiting for a couple of more hours until we see a good or stronger support and resistance, Miranda. Let's now go on yung inaantay ninyong Peepcoin. Ito na po, Miranda. Ito na ha. So antayin nyo na to, guys. No, ito na. Antayin nyo na yan. Type number 1 kung nakikita na yan. Kanina ko pa inaantay basagin yan habang nagla-live tayo. Alright, si Ethereum medyo bearish pa din ang kanya, or obviously medyo downward trend pa din, no? It's currently creating a lower high on a downward trend. So suportahan natin. Ako inaantay ko to mag-bounce on a 1834. Kailangan ko ng catalyst for this price action to happen, no? Otherwise, it can potentially just go down further. Kailangan ko ng catalyst for this to go up even higher. Okay, so this is on the current structure of Ethereum. Magkaroon ng TLSBD, long consolidation. I need this to go higher from an Ethereum perspective, Miranda. Bitcoin, sa mga nag-aantay dyan, ito yung inaantay kong chart na magkaroon ng activation. Karoon ng 618 breakout kanina, nagkaroon ng pag nagkaroon ng correction pagkatapos niya bumasag doon sa area na yon. Here, karoon ng correction. Obviously, meron kang 618 dyan on Feb kanina dito, no? Nagkaroon ng tabu trade, umakyat, nagkaroon ng correction, tumuloy-tuloy pababa. Ang atin pong bias is this one needs to hit this one, gagawa ng tabu pababa, then aakyat pataas or magbe-breakdown pababa. Kailangan ko ng catalyst mamayang alas 2. Kung gising pa kayo, then gising pa kayo, no? Yan, maaantay nyo yan. At ako, I'm going to wait for this key level support na mabasag niya pababa. I'm going to wait for this key level support, Miranda. Well, well, not a key level support, but there is obviously a good support here. Particularly, nirespeto po siya ng mga support na ito. Ito outlier price natin. Pwede rin tayong gumamit ng tinatawag nating we can also use our current structure. Kita mo dyan, parang pakiramdam ko, gumubuo yan ng ganito. Okay? So, pwedeng magkaroon dito ng neckline yan. Pwedeng bumutas yung neckline pababa. Pwede niyang gawin yan. No? So, kailangan ko tong magkaroon ng catalyst para umakyat ka doon paakyat. Okay? Pero alam nyo ba, Miranda, meron akong papakita sa inyo, no? Para siguro kung meron ka sigurong trade sa platform na to, mayamang ka na siguro, no? Tingnan niyo to BTC USDT perp. Hanapin natin si perpetual, hanapin ko si Bitfinex, no? Kung di ko siya makita, ayun. Gusto ko makita itong longs na to. Okay. Gusto ko makita yung BTC Bitfinex kasi grabe dyan, no? Talagang nagwala yung presyo ng coin dyan sa Bitfinex, Miranda, kasi talagang humabot ng there was a time na umabot ito ng hanapin ko nga yun, no? Nasa article yata natin. Teka lang Bitfinex, Bitcoin, flash rally. Grabe yun, no? Yan, 23 hours ago. Nabalitaan nyo ba to, guys? Nabalitaan nyo to, yan, no? Siguro kung meron kayong taya dito, mayaman nyo na. Mayaman nyo na, no? 56,000 lang po naman, diba? 56,000 lang naman si Bitcoin. Nakita nyo yan? Kung meron kayong taya dyan, di sana napakayaman nyo na ngayon. Kung meron kayong stop profit dyan, sino gusto makahabol lang ganyan? Huwag nyo abulin, hindi nangyayari araw-araw. Grabe, no? Bitcoin, sobrang volatility issue to. Liquidity issue, Miranda, no? Alright, anyways, so Bitcoin, another coin na gusto kong i-chart for today, yung binabantayan po natin, obviously yung ito, actually we're planning to take a look at this coin further, no? Inaantay ko dito yung 382 niya, no? So the power of our Fibonacci, if you're going to enter OG, antayin po natin yung breakout on a 382. So, I'm going to get the 382 of OG. Doon ko siya papasukan, no? The power of our Fibonacci. Kahit maraming zero yan, they are going to respect fibs. No? So, let's get the Fibonacci going. Okay? So, kailangan ko ng breakout on this particular price. If they get listed out, it can potentially go up even higher for OG. No? Yung iDoge bumaba, no? Wala na pong bago dyan. We already have spoken about these speculative coins can go down further because these are speculation. So yan po yung current chart niya. Dapat po alam po natin kung saan yan pupunta. For me, pwedeng sumalo itong si 1.236. Pwedeng sumalo, but hindi ko sasaluhin yan kasi it can be a lower high of a downward market structure. Pwede ko siyang antayin within this particular territory kung siya ay gusto kong i-trade Miranda. I'm going to wait for it to break out paakyat and then wait for my as well to my 382s na mabasag paakyat Miranda. So that's gonna be your iDoge. We're done with the PEEP, no? Na-discuss ko na to. So antayin po natin yan na po yung kanyang dulo. Nag-retrace ulit Miranda. So definitely one of the things that we need to watch out this particular trend line for PEEP. Alright? Yung mga aggressive coins, medyo patay lahat, no? Obviously, even BNB. So, karamihan sa kanila nasa dulo ng kanilang key level support. For example, for for BNB, take a look at this particular, ang ganda napakaganda po, 'di ba? So take a look at that, no? So halos lahat po ng ating mga coin pare-parehas. So ang kailangan pong antayin natin maya-maya is yung narrative po ng ating FOMC, no? Kung gusto niyo matulog na kayo, no? Wag lang kayong mag-iwan ng mga position obviously na walang stop profits or protective stops ka, Miranda, no? Binabantayan ko yung mga yan, particularly particularly on your FOMC. Yan. Yung Chuka, nag-cut loss ako kay Chuka. I think that people are moving their positions, no, to other speculative coins, no. Obviously that's 1% lang naman yan, so that's gonna be what we need to do. At even on even for, I don't know if you guys have been getting profits habang umaakyat si PEEP, 'di ba? So gawin niyo din 'yon, no, Miranda, gawa din kayo ng mga HPCs ninyo kasi kung gagawa kayo ng mga HPC, mababawi niyo rin po yung inyong mga investments, lalo na kung merong potential yung coin na sinasabi po natin, no? And while obviously habang nakaspot kayo sa mga yan, pwede nyo silang i-short, no? Tulad kanina sobrang dami natin, no? To TLSBD with confirmation candle 131%. Ito nagkaroon na naman tayo ng correction play TLSBD. Yan, another one. Puro kanina shorting play tayo, no? Pati yung mga members, alam ko nag-shorting din kayo. Another one ka, Miranda, here. Another $63. I'm trying to hedge pababa kasi meron akong position sa spot niyan na nakuha ko sa ilalim, diba? So, you have 63 and then you have another $80 pababa naman po. Pababa ng pababa yan, ka, Miranda. So, we're able to earn pababa. Paakyat naman, around 23, no? Sa spot po ito, no? Sa paakyat tayo, kumikita ka paakyat. So habang umaakyat yan, ngayon i-short mo naman pababa. So I'm actually been shorting this guy. Kanina pa kasabay ko kayong mga nasa Discord at mga members ng YouTube. So babantayan natin yan. Because yung sinabi natin sa coin na yan, ang trading strategy mo dyan, bababa at bababa ka, Miranda. Kasi speculative coin yan, eh, di ba? Wala namang use case yan. Huwag kayo masyadong mag-over-invest sa mga ganyang coins. Alis agad, labas agad, ka, Miranda. Okay, yan po ang ating trading strategy on that particular coin. At mamaya, ka, Miranda, syempre, we need to be mindful. Itong mga volatility moves na ito, pwedeng gumawa ng ganyang very simple or at worst, pag napakapangit, pwedeng gumawa ng napakaganyang forma. Diba? Pwedeng gumawa ng ganyang napakapangit na forma si Bitcoin. So, Miranda, tatandaan po natin ang ating HPC is only 1 to 2% of your capital, no? Pwede mong taasan 'yan kung nasa talagang mataas ang conviction mo, especially if you're shorting a coin na pababa, nag-TLSBD, you can increase your position size depending on your conviction and win rate, no? So, but again, I would like to remind that these coins are purely speculative, no? Wala po silang use case. You don't even know the owner, no? So why are you going to over-invest on those coins? So just 1 to 2% ride on their profits, ka, Miranda. All right. Now, let's now quickly go on some of our FAs, no? So as I've said, ka, Miranda, marami rin na nagsasabi ngayon that they believe that the crypto rally may stall if they don't signal end of tightening, no? So ayun din po yung palagay natin. I'm going to ano, ka, Miranda, no? I'm going to be able to try to check kung kaya ko mag-live ng alas 2. If I don't go live, ito ang aking iiwan sa inyong payo. Okay, I'm going to give you my honest to get goodness opinion about what do I think should we do maya-maya. So let's now quickly go on Bitcoin USDT. Sa palagay ko, ka, Miranda, tingin ko lang, ito yung pananaw natin. I may be wrong, no? Sa palagay ko, kailangan ko tong bumaba. Sinabi ko na to sa mga members, Sinabi ko na to sa mga intermediate students, I need the price to go down at 27,000 again. Kailangan ko yun. Bakit? Kasi tingin ko that will confirm yung matagal ko nang iniintay na trend na breakdown. Gusto ko itong bumaba. Yun ang pinakagusto kong mangyari. I want this to go down. If it goes down further, it can retest this particular support. Gagawa ng neckline yan. No? Ang tingin ko magpapagalaw dyan is obviously your catalyst, your FOMC. Honest to goodness, tingin ko lang no, priced in na mamaya eh. Tingin ko 25 ang mangyayari. Mamaya tingin ko ang mangyayari wala lang. Magvo-volatile move lang mamaya. Yun lang. Akit baba. Tingin ko ganun kasi priced in na yan eh. Tingin ko matagal nang alam ng market, no. So, tingin ko talaga no, ang mangyayaring maganda tulad ng sinabi ni Royce kanina. Ang tingin kong kailangan mangyari, kailangan mag-zero na tayo. 0 BPS. Tingin ko pag nag-announce sila ng 0 BPS, we can easily go to 40,000. Tingin ko, no? Yung bank narrative na naririnig natin ngayon, tingin ko kasama na lahat 'yan sa mga consider ng market, no? Tingin ko kasama na lahat 'yan. You need to remember, one of the reason why we're still at 28,000 right now is because of that, no? Kung hindi lang dahil diyan, kung hindi lang dahil doon sa bank narrative, dapat wala nang ganitong structure. Dapat pababa na tayo. Okay? So, ang gusto kong mangyari talaga dito, I need the price of this particular coin to retest at 27 para magkaalaman na. Nagpapahagip pa dito eh. Ngayon, I'm not going to be really aggressive on creating a buy long on this market. Meron akong inaabangang order. To be honest with you, meron akong gustong ipasok na order kanina in futures, no? May inaabangan ako. I have around 0.5 Bitcoin on a 5x leverage. I have an order like that, no? May inaantay akong ganitong order. Ang gusto kong paggagamitan ko niyan, yung sure ball ako sa trend, no? May inaantay kasi ang maliit na galaw nito, sa totoo lang, ang maliit na galaw niyan 30 mil. 30 mil na agad ang profit niya ng isang maliit na galaw niyan. Okay? So, yun ang inaantay kong pasok. Sana, wala akong makitang conviction sa market, let alone wala pang wallet, wala pang liquidity. So, ang inaantay kong gawin ng market, kung ilolong ko siya, I'm going to wait for this breakout, or I'm going to wait for a rally na may conviction dito paakyat. May ganun kasi, no? May mga rally na, parang konti, no? Baba. Diba? May rally na lalaki ng kandila, gumagano yung ganyan, diba? Ayan ang gusto kong pasukan. Ayan ang inaantay ni Coach. I've been waiting for that. Miranda. Okay? I've been waiting for this, Miranda. Before ko ipasok itong inaantay kong malaking order paakyat. Ngayon, pag pababa, antayin ko yan dito sa baba. I'm not going to go long up until it hits 27 and it gives me a good level of bounce here. Weakening ng oscillators sa baba, potentially bounce, paakyat, double bottom, gagawa yan dito. Dito ang pasok ko dyan. Yan ang iniisip kong trabaho niya. Wala ako nakikitang medyo magandang structure on this market as for the past couple of days. I think the market is on a sideline. We're all waiting for a good narrative to continue. Okay? Yung jobs report, maganda. Maganda yung report na lumabas. No, yung initial report kanina, 8:30, medyo maganda yung lumabas na report. Pero the market is not doing anything because everyone's waiting for the FOMC ng alas 2. Okay? Andyan pa ba kayo? Ba't parang sobrang tahimik nyo? Nakikinig pa ba kayo sa akin? Are you guys still listening? Can you please type number 1, Miranda? Grabe, na-miss ko kayo I missed all of you. Hindi ako nakakapag-chart for the past couple of days. Bukas meron naman akong collab guys with Marvin Favis, with Crypto Fortune, with Tito Vlogs. Abangan nyo yung mga pag-uusapan namin. Ako, magandang topic namin bukas, Miranda. Abangan nyo yan ha. So, yun ang aking pananaw on FA mamaya. I want this to go down. Okay? I want the FA to bring this down mamaya. This one, I want this to go down here. Okay? Alright? We're good? Naiintindihan guys? Ayun ang gusto kong mangyari. That is what I would like to happen. No? So here. So, hindi ko to ilolong kasi yung structure niya, it's forming a head and shoulders pattern pababa. So, wag ka muna magbida-bida na long. Ha? So, wag muna. Kita niyo, no? It's forming, you know. It's forming a head and shoulders pattern. So, ayokong mangyari yan. Okay? Pwede rin kasi, no? Pwede rin na ganito ang ginagawa niyan ngayon. No? Pwedeng ganito. Yan. Gagawa ng ganyan yan. Pwedeng ganyan. It can create that. Diba? Or, ito. Ito, malayo na kasi ito. Inflation to eh. I don't think this is going to happen ever again. Merong unless may malaking FA yan. Okay? So, tingin ko, ito, I'm going to wait para buuin mo na yung drop. Huwag ka na magpahinay-hinay Bitcoin, 'di ba? Buuin mo na. Tapos pag nag-drop ka na, confirm na yung right hand mo, i-bounce mo na sa 27. Otherwise, aabangan kita sa 25. No? I will wait for you sa 25. Okay? Anong May 5? Friday pa ata. Ang alin? Ang FOMC? Ang alin? Anong May 5? Oo, May 5. Sorry, yung aming collab pala. Sa May 5 pala yun. Sorry, nag-advance na ako. Akala ko kasi May 4 na ngayon eh. sorry, oo. May 5 pala yun. Oo. May 5, no, with all of us. Kasabay niyan yung yung ating upcoming sale, Miranda. Abangan niyo yung ating sale sa mga courses natin. Okay, sa mga nag-aabang ng pumindot diyan ng buy button sa course natin, abangan niyo na 'yon ha. Nako, magandang promotion 'yun. Okay? So abangan niyo ako, I might go live. Pahinga lang ako ng konti. I might go live ng 2:00. Kung hindi, again, ang guidance ko, I want this to go down, no? Ngayon, what if for example, coach, nagkaroon ng biglaang trend change of direction? What if for example, parang ganito? O nagkaroon siya ng change of direction, coach. So umakyat siya bigla. Kung umakyat, pag ganun, ang gagawin natin, magkakaroon tayo ng conviction kung ito yung inaantay kung alam mo nung umaakyat to kanina when this is creating this particular structure, inaantay kong gawin niya kanina tayo, sabi ko, sana basagin to. Sana basagin yan. Diba? Para magkaroon ng double, not double, but magkaroon ng tabo. Diba? Inaantay ko tong basagin paakyat. Meron akong advance order dyan sa 28,000 something sa ataas niyan eh. May inaabangan ako dyan, guys. No? So, pag ito naman, sabihin na natin, no, listen carefully, no? What if, for example naman, coach, ito ay so, di ba meron tayong downward structure. O yan, umakyat na ngayon. Gumawa ka dito ng higher low sa impulse move na yan. Lower high yan ng downward trend. Gumawa ka ng higher low dito if you're going to start here. So yan, so sabi ko kailangan bumasag yan dito. Kung aakyat yan mamaya, kunyari gagawa yan dito ng kunwari lang kunyari from swing low to swing high. For example, listen carefully for example, it creates a bounce here. Kasi may 618 ka dyan, di ba? If it creates a bounce here, all right? If it creates a bounce here, okay? Gagawa yan dito ng consolidation bounce. Okay, gagawa dito ng 382. Remember, kakayaman niya pag alam nyong i-monitor yan. 382, bababa, aakyat, kuha dito ng double bottom. Pasok dito. May stop loss ka dapat Pasok, scalp, paakyat, 618. Kung aakyat pa siya, scalp, abang na dito. Okay? Kailangan mong basagin yung paakyat para mag-activate ito. Ito yung kukunin natin. Okay? Malaking tabo yan Okay? Kasi importante yung kailangan natin makuha yun. Kasi ito 0.5 yata ito 0.5. Yun, exactly. 0.5 siya nag-correct So kunin natin to pag nag-breakout ito, yun ang aabangan natin. Kung ito ay magbabounce on a 618 area here, consolidation, pwedeng umakyat. Pag binasag, mag-activate ito, pasok dito, or magko-correct, gagawa ng double top, pababa dito. Gagawa ng double top, kuha dito. Gets nyo? Dapat ganun kayo kabilis mag-isip, guys. Ganun kabilis, Alright, can you please type number 1 kung nauunawaan nyo na yung scenarios ni Coach mamaya? Okay. Yun. Grabe, no? Napakahaba nung live ko. 2 oras, Coach. Grabe. But again, thank you, First MetroSec. No? Ginamit ko lang yung time nyo to do some public surveys sa mga Miranda because nag-aabang din tayo maya-maya ng mga orders. No? So with that said, Miranda, maraming salamat sa inyo. Abang tayo ng FOMC mamaya. Follow me. Kahit 100,000 na, subscribe pa din tayo in YouTube. Pasabugin na yung like na yan, Miranda. And I will see you again very soon in our next live. And maraming salamat po. And I love you 3,000, Miranda. Bye and good night. Medyo pagod na yung mata ko kanina pa, no? Pasensya na kayo, Maraming salamat and good night.
I've been dreaming on in my head like I've seen it. A life worth living is a life with meaning. I'll do what I love till my heart stops beating. I'm feeding this demon.